What if your ally suddenly stopped supplying you with weapons in the middle of a war? What if your enemy took advantage of this situation and intensified its attacks on your territory? This is the dilemma that Ukraine faces after Poland decided to halt its arms exports to the country amid a trade dispute. The decision, which was announced by the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs on September 23, 2023, is based on a disagreement over grain imports from Ukraine. Poland claims that Ukraine has violated the terms of a bilateral agreement by imposing quotas and tariffs on Polish wheat and barley, which are essential for the Polish livestock industry. Poland says that it will resume its arms exports to Ukraine only if Ukraine lifts its restrictions on Polish grain. The decision has been criticized by many Ukrainian officials and experts, who see it as a betrayal and a threat to their national security. They argue that Poland is one of the main sources of weapons and military equipment for Ukraine, which is engaged in a war against Russia-backed separatists in the eastern regions of Donbas. They say that Poland's move will weaken Ukraine's defense capabilities and embolden Russia to escalate its aggression. The decision has also been questioned by some Polish politicians and analysts who worry that it will damage Poland's reputation and interests in the region. They point out that Poland is one of the strongest supporters of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as well as its integration into NATO and the EU. They warn that Poland's move will alienate Ukraine and other allies, such as the US and Germany, who have been providing diplomatic and economic assistance to Ukraine. Why did Poland make such a drastic decision? The answer lies in the complex and conflicting interests and pressures that Poland faces in its relations with Ukraine and Russia. On one hand, Poland has a historical and cultural affinity with Ukraine, as well as a strategic interest in preventing Russia from dominating the region. On the other hand, Poland has an economic dependence on Russia, as well as a pragmatic interest in avoiding a direct confrontation with a nuclear power. Poland's decision reflects its attempt to balance these interests and pressures, as well as to assert its own sovereignty and influence in the region. Poland wants to show Ukraine that it cannot take its support for granted, and that it has to respect its trade obligations. Poland also wants to show Russia that it is not afraid to stand up for its rights, and that it can use its leverage over Ukraine as a bargaining chip. Poland's decision is not only a matter of trade, but also a matter of politics and security. It raises important questions about how allies should cooperate and coordinate their actions in times of crisis, how enemies should be deterred and contained without provoking a war, and how regional stability and security should be maintained and enhanced.
Watch another video. Which Daily Blade video do you want to watch next?